This week on the show, we're doing our spoilerific review of Bug in the System. We're going to break down the newest Living Story episode, including the map, the story, the new mechanics that came in, and some of the cool and interesting things that we found. We also have what we call news and a special guest host. We're going to keep Levy up all night long on Shadow the Dragon. Welcome to Shadow the Dragon. This is episode number 61. Woo!
Wow!
All right, we are Sans Miko and Sans Kora. But we did pick up Levy from across the halfway across the world.
Good to have you, Levy.
I can be here for Miko and Kora.
There you
You
go.
can call me Coco.
Coco.
Or Mira.
I said when I started the show, me and Levy first started talking and stuff, I said, I'm going to get you on my show one day. And he's like, nope, never going to happen. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happened. So what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
Right. I'm fine.
Okay. Levy might need a nap here in a little bit, though.
Not really. I'm not sleepy yet, surprisingly, although it's past 1 a.m.
Nice.
Not the yawning, yes, yet, so.
No guts, no glory, baby. No guts, no glory.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Well said.
All right, so who wants to start off this sausage party?
Well,
I think I'm ready to leave now.
So, Levy, what have you been doing in game, man?
Which game?
Well, we're Guild Wars 2 focused podcast, so let's start there.
Are you sure? I've been hearing a lot about WoW.
I know.
I've been playing Guild Wars 2 a little bit more than I used to for past couple of months because I had pretty much nothing to do in game that would be interesting for me. So yeah, we got a big patch, new episode. So of course I played that one. I started doing dailies again a little bit, but after 3 days I should reach 30,000 achievement points, so I should not care anymore.
I almost caught up to you.
Overall, playing the patch, playing the story, bit by bit.
Good.
Not much else.
Good. Anything you want to talk about in WoW?
Well, yeah, no. This is Guild Wars podcast.
I'm gonna do it.
Guys, what have you been up to in game, buddy? W-dub.
Well, you know that. I mean, I just ought to just have a little dub. In fact, I'm gonna put that as my name on the appearance screen. But no, I played a little bit of dub. I didn't really get as much playing time as I normally do. I've been pretty busy with work, especially, and then my daughter is moving back in, so I had to move my office, and so there was some downtime. It wasn't too long. I actually managed to do most of it within a 24-hour time period. So
yeah, it was pretty quick.
But anyway, I did that, and I played I played World v. World, right? I've had such a long day, bro. I'm telling you. But anyway, I also played the story. So now I couldn't tell you how much of it I remember, but I'm sure as we start talking, some of it will come back to me. A lot of it I don't remember because in this household, you really kind of just going through the motions on that kind of stuff. Because most PvE content, it's kind of just it sails on its own.
Yeah.
So a lot of that I may have missed that I'm sure you guys picked up on, but that's what I did. That's pretty much it.
I played the story. No, I played the story. This was a very interesting one for me because it kind of proved one of my theories true that I'll get into when I do the review. But there was some really nice stuff in the story that I enjoyed. The char were a little too hippie for me. And at first I was kind of like, it doesn't make sense and anything else.
I like the hippie char. I'm sorry, but I did.
It did make sense. It did make sense. I mean, my first reaction was like, what is this? It's like, whatever. But I was more concerned with what was in Guild Wars 1 at Dajka Inlet, I believe it was called. And I actually hopped in game. There's not much in there. Me and Levy had a conversation about it. I was like, there's human settlements. Where's the humans go? And there really wasn't that big of a settlement there. Yeah. So, but I mean, it was a pretty solid story, I have to admit, and I enjoyed it. And that's all I did in Guild Wars 2. I was pretty.
You didn't play any World v World at all yet?
No. I have to. I need to make a day. And the side project I talked to you about, my friend, months ago that you haven't answered me on, would assist with that. I love that face. You forgot already? Scroll up in host chat.
I've told you numerous times, I can't remember what I did this morning. And you want me to remember what we talked about 6 freaking months ago.
I would hope so. I've been waiting for an answer for 6 months. But anyway.
What was it? Remind me. I'll try to give you an answer.
I can't do it on air. I can't do it on air. We got to talk about it off air. It's top secret.
Well, excuse me. Remind me.
I will. I'll remind you later. Okay. But
I'll write it down this time.
The story was pretty good. And again, I'll get into that in the next thing. But other than that, I'm still playing WoW. I got a lot done last weekend in Suramar, and I plan on finishing it off. There's a tool that Levy showed me that on Wowhead that I always forget about, and I started using it on every play session, and it's so good for me because I'm so ADD that it just, okay, this is this grouping that I need to work on, and I'm just going to work on this, and I'm not going to worry about side quests or anything else is what I'm going to do. So it's helped out a lot. But what I've mainly been playing for the past week or so is Dragon Quest Builders on the Switch. Is my new addiction.
What's that about?
It's Minecraft in the Dragon Quest universe. So Dragon Quest is one of my favorite RPGs, mainly because it is the art stylings of Akira Toriyama, who was the creator of Dragon Ball, the whole Dragon Ball universe. So it has that aesthetic and that look, and it's a really solid JRPG. Old school, like old classic Final Fantasy, but it's a cute game. I played the demo for it, and I was like, I have to own this, and I've been sucked into that for the past week.
That sounds fun. I did do a little bit of TISO myself, just
I saw that you
started
you
2 of them.
You cheater.
How is it?
TISO? So far, it's getting used to the controls is a little difficult, but it's only because I finally got used to the controls in WoW again, and I got used to. Of course, I know all of the Guild Wars 2 stuff by muscle memory.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different, because you look around with your mouse, you don't push the button. So like, I'm constantly right clicking and I throw up a block.
Well, it's a very unique leveling system because you can start building yourself up as like a melee character, and then middle of the road you can kind of switch off and be a caster. You have to build the levels first, but you build your stamina, you build your strength, and you build your magicka, I believe, if I recall correctly. It's been a while since I played, but it's a very interesting game.
Yeah,
I have the game. I just haven't kept up on it, but I bought Tamriel
Unlimited or Unleashed.
Yeah. Unleashed or Unlimited, whatever that one was.
Yeah. I had been wanting to try it for a long time, and I noticed a lot of our MOG members were joining up and playing it. So I thought it would be a good time to kind of try it out.
Yeah,
Um,
especially Cash and Jibs just started the Lore Seekers podcast, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it drew me in. It worked. Good job, guys.
It's nice. The way that they present the lore and stuff is really it's really well done. So that's it.
They got highlighted.
I saw
Community
that.
highlighted first week.
Don't get me started on that. We're about to go into the news.
we'll
Let's be
start
nice
on
and
that.
chill. We'll be nice and chill because we're about to do the news. Nothing on them. They're great, and it's really cool to see. All right, I can't help it. Here
You
comes
won't
the
be
salt.
You won't be able to hold the political.
Here
this
comes the
topic.
salt, damn it, Gallios. It's nice to see when a freaking game company appreciates a podcast so much that they put it on their front page and highlight it. And that's that. At least somebody does it.
First week.
Definitely nice to see when game company does a community spotlight in the
Yes.
right way.
Yeah. Which, again, we're going to get to that.
When they focus on the right stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's take a break
But we
here.
aren't bitter.
We ain't bitter. I'm not bitter, actually. I'm really not. I'm not
Me
surprised either, though. I'm actually kind of like, when they kind of put you in the hole and spray you with the hose every hour, you come to expect it,
They bring you lotion and stuff
Put
like that.
you push the lotion on the skin.
Cut little pieces of skin off of you from time to time.
All right, that's
Wear
enough.
it as a mask.
All right. We're going. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back with what we call news. And we're back! Yay! So there's a little bit of news. Yeah, you got to pick up the slack for our ladies.
Yeah, because I gotta pick up the bubbly. That since the bubbly's not here.
you got you got to be the girls. So you're the girls tonight.
Okay.
All right. So wow, yeah, we did get some news. The first and foremost, excuse me. First and foremost, it came out on the forums that the top 3 match manipulators in EU were given 3 months of dishonor. Dun dun dun.
Bum bum bum.
Yay.
It's good to see that they're doing something about it, but I mean, 3 months dishonor.
Another slap on the wrist. Nothing consequential. Nothing that would show that they don't want people to really cheat. Because
Maybe they think they'll learn their lesson, like
Well,
going to prison.
Well, the concept behind going to prison is that there is a fear of going to prison. It is a start, Ratha. You are absolutely correct. It is a start, and I don't want to put it in a light that it's not a start, but it's a start that should have happened months ago. Actually years ago. First off, and second off, is it really a start? I mean, this has been in the spotlight for 2 years now, and finally something's getting done, and it's really the top 3 EU players have been given 3 months of dishonor. The number 1 player was number 1 in EU last PvP season, and it can only be assumed that if he's match manipulating now and wins trading now, he was win trading then. So, I mean, of course, you can't go back and take that away or whatever. You can do something now. They are doing something, but 3 people. I mean,
that's nothing.
it is a start. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but they could have done more, in my opinion.
Well, they will come after 3 months and can do the same thing.
Yeah. And Ratha has a good point. This isn't just an ArenaNet thing. There's a lot of instances where game companies are slow to react to stuff like this.
Well, mostly they react slowly to the hackers and cheaters because they don't want them to find out how they find out that they are cheating, so that they don't abuse it. But this market manipulation, why did it take so long? It's terrible. So many people are demotivated from PvP because, well, everybody cheats now. Everybody doesn't care because what will ANET do?
That's what it is. Yeah, there is no. I mean, there is no fear of it. I mean,
Yeah.
if this was if there was a way, and this is just my opinion, of course, but and Gallows, feel free to jump in after this one. But if there was a way to manipulate the Black Lion market, the gem shop, they would be banned. They would be perma banned, kicked from the game, and that's it.
Yeah, because
You
it's
know?
money oriented.
Yeah, but this is
The
reward
biggest
oriented.
thing is money oriented.
But this in a way is you can save up, you can win enough, you could win trade enough where you get enough in-game gold to buy gems,
yeah,
to buy things, and then so in essence,
but it's
you're
so
stealing money.
indirect, and you're absolutely right. It's just I think it's so indirect that they haven't even looked at it in that light.
And-
Whereas for people like me, it's just, God dang, I just don't get why you play a game to cheat to get fake shit. I mean, sorry. I mean, it's fake
Well, you
shit.
trade it in. You trade it in for the gems. You sell it. You make the money. You trade the gold in for the gems, and you get what you want. I mean, that's how it comes down. Again, it's not. This isn't only an ArenaNet problem, but I mean, I do feel like they could do a little bit more. But I am happy to see that they're doing something. I'd like to see a lot more. I mean, we talked about this 2 weeks
It's
ago.
nice, but I say too little, too late, and they've been known for not responding accordingly to such behavior. For example, people that have been hacking on a Winter's Day jumping puzzle.
Yeah, I know.
They farmed tens of thousands of gifts.
Yeah.
So those people were banned for 6 months, and after they got into the game, they didn't even delete those gifts from their inventories.
Yeah, I know. I remember that story.
You've got to be kidding me! Come on.
It's true. It's true. And I really love ArenaNet, and I really wish that they would just get their act together. This is coming from a player that used to be PBX. I used to play WW and PvP, and you know this, Gallios. Every season, I would be in PvP and I would be involved.
Every season.
And it hasn't been since season 5. And,
Well,
and it's directly. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I looked back at history, and it's like I feel like I haven't played PvP forever. Where did these 300 and some odd matches come from? And then I remembered how much we actually used to play.
We would be in there every night.
And
it's almost
went away.
like ArenaNet has enabled this match win scheme by limiting things to duos. It's almost like they made it easier for people to manipulate the system once they did that. And I don't know. It's a start. I really hope to see more. I would really like to see the hackers gone. And Gallius had said that he was having a different experience in PvP, and that's really just because most of the hackers and cheaters are up in Legendary at this point because the season's halfway done. So maybe I could jump in now, but I don't know. Please, ArenaNet, do something. Do something. All right, so. The next thing that we have is the PvP WW skill split release was updated. There was an edit to the original one. This was a story that I saw on Reddit, and it was just noted. It looks like this will be the last edit of the Big Balance Split release, and we will no longer get unsplits from PvE, but only at later normal balance releases. So that's what was noted on Reddit. There's still the whole big list of specific skills for Revenant, for Warrior, for Ranger, for every profession that you can imagine. That's available on the forums as well as on Reddit. But it looks like they're getting ready to put that to live, I think that's pretty exciting. It's something I've been crying for a long time, and they're finally doing it. I'm really excited that they're doing this. This changes the game a lot. This makes a lot of things a lot better. This is a huge quality of life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And kudos to them for doing it. It's not easy to do, and I know that they avoided it for a long time, but definitely kudos to them for doing it because this was a huge undertaking. I love the fact that they're doing this where they're getting to the point where it's like, hey guys, we're working on this. Let's hear what you got to say. If you're going to be the idiot in the corner who's screaming and yelling and calling us names and making lewd comments, we're not going to listen to you. But if you come to the table with something that is constructive, we're going to listen to you. I love this approach.
Yeah, constructive, intelligent conversation wins every time.
Yeah.
So,
No, it does. And just for them to take this on is really good. I can agree with them trying to keep everything with that quarterly balance update, and it's going to be a lot harder. I hope that they're getting some more resources for the balance team. But this is definitely something I've waited for a long time. Very happy that this is coming out the door.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very happy. I'm very happy that they have shared this data beforehand.
Yeah.
In search of feedback. That's awesome, and I want everything like that. The best thing would be, in my opinion, a public test realm.
Yeah.
That many people have been asking for, and this is a step in the right direction, definitely.
I can agree with them not doing a PTR for the story.
Oh, sure.
I can agree with that. That's fine, but there's no reason why you can't do a PvP or WW PTR. Let's get it out there. Get it done. I'll sign up. Charge for it. Charge a, I don't know. Put it in the gem shop. Ask for a pass. I don't know.
There's other games that have passes like that.
So there you go. All right. So it would appear that this was the last edit. So I'm sure that the original poster, this was posted by Nebby on Reddit 4 days ago. So I'm sure that they got their information from somewhere, and I'm trusting that information. All right. So last minute news. For some reason, the new fishing event that was released in the new map has been disabled. I don't know if it went back on. I didn't see an update on it. But
not yet.
Okay.
There was a fishing event?
Yes. And it's awesome.
Yeah, so the fishing mechanic is in game now.
Yeah. I can describe it to you.
You just made Gallios joke. Go ahead, explain away, Levy.
Basically, the mechanics is that you get a spear, and you just target a fish. You throw spear at it. The fish flies out of the water, and you need to catch it. So that's the fishing event.
The front door.
Yeah. And it reminded me a little bit of that event in Wayfarer Foothills where you need to catch the kegs.
Okay.
It's very similar mechanics. It's just more precise. You know exactly where it's falling to, so you can catch it quite easily. And in my opinion, with couple more of added mechanics, this could be a fishing in game. This could be a new activity.
And
I will tell you that the catching of the fish, I hope, is easier than the catching of the barrels, because Gallios has never caught a barrel.
I have.
Never.
Definitely.
It usually just smacks me in the face, but I'm a norm, so.
No. This one is much easier to catch.
Cool.
This one is much easier, and it was a big surprise when I found it. It was fun, but apparently, in some way, it has been causing server crashes, so they disabled it.
Yeah, so that was that. They tracked it down, and it's disabled. It'll go back up at some point.
I'm sure there's just some lines of code that they need to change. It probably will come back soon.
There was a lot of bugs in this release. There really was. The ambush system is bugged. The fishing event was bugged. There was something else that was bugged too. That was I don't know if it came from this release, but one of the mastery points that you need for Aurora has been bugged for a while. That's been getting a lot of attention, but I don't think that broke in this recent patch release. But I mean, they'll work through it. They're usually pretty good about addressing this stuff. So I'm just killing time because I don't like the next story. I'm gonna say this.
Say it.
This news story comes with a disclaimer because honestly, when I first pulled this news story, it was meant to be it was more meant to be in good fun because I've been teasing Miko behind the scenes about the never-ending friendships post, and it even ended a couple days ago. I was like, see, here's this video. They're gonna keep going, and then Miko was like, you didn't see that this was the final video for the friendship series, did you, Gord? And I was like, oh poop. So it was meant to be that. And somewhere during the course of last night, Wednesday through Thursday, it turned into something completely different. So
Fire away, Gord. Fire away.
So a new friendships video came out.
Yeah.
The most I'm gonna say right now is that I think that the story was kind of cute. However, it's not a story that I would have chose to highlight. That's where I'm gonna leave it for now. I do have more to say about it. I need to collect my thoughts because, like I said, this turned into a really big, hot button topic for both the community and the content marketing team behind the video. So, I mean, I don't know. Gallios, did you see it?
No, I literally have been driving every single day.
Good man.
Since people said stuff, so I have not seen the video at all.
It's a cute story. It's a nice story. You know, I mean,
you are being so well behaved right now.
The thing of it is I'm gonna do full disclosure. The thing of it is that I honestly, the first thing that I honestly said about this video was that it was a cute story. It was pretty much in line with the other stories that they released and everything else. And my whole intent was to kind of be jokey about it, and because it's not a secret, I've come out here and said, you know, the E3 announcement is going to be, you know, a friendships booth with all these numerous videos that we've seen and videos that we haven't seen yet coming out. And, you know, that was my intent with it, to have fun with it and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm assuming, Gallios, you didn't see the meltdown on Reddit that spilled over into Twitter.
I'm telling you, I've seen enough of it on Twitter. Like, Twitter's about the only thing I can glance at quickly while I'm driving. Like, Reddit takes too long to read because I have to scroll through all the threads. But Twitter, I can kind of catch, you know, at stoplights and stuff like that. So I did see the lashback on Twitter, and it was pretty brutal.
So, Levy, what are your thoughts, buddy?
Well, people that know me know that I'm not a big fan of this campaign. In my opinion, it's useless. Mm-hmm. And yeah, basing marketing on a byproduct of a game, or basically even byproduct of an internet interaction, is not very good idea, in my opinion. But I wanted to be open-minded, and yeah. First of all, I hope that they have more in store for us, judging by the head of marketing words for February, and then we got only this friendship campaign. So I wanted to watch this video like someone from the outside. So I watched the video, and it was about a young girl streamer. She was, I think, 25 years old, and she found a friend in Guild Wars, and they did a triple trouble commanding. Nice. He was a bit older, a bit bigger guy. It's not a typical friendship, or not a stereotypical friendship, because he's much older than her. But whatever, it's the internet. Mm-hmm. So I was interested in the girl as being the new public face of Guild Wars, because obviously her story was being told of how she started streaming. The guy encouraged her, and she became a quite successful streamer. And their friendship is still going on. She came to Australia to visit him, to see him. Nice stuff. So I wanted to see what this streamer has to say about Guild Wars and how is she presenting Guild Wars. So I looked for her stream, and she was streaming everything else than Guild Wars. So I was a little bit surprised. Then I found out that she didn't even have any expansions of Guild Wars and has left Guild Wars some time ago. Okay, that was even weirder. Why would Anet even pick someone that doesn't even play the game now? But okay, and then after I've read her stream info, I've seen that she's been doing very well. The mentioned guy, he's called Pose. He has been deemed the most important not donators, supporter.
Yeah, highest contributor.
Highest contributor, yeah. Underneath him, there was a guy that gave her $9,000. First of all, I thought that it's him because I read it wrong. It was a different name. But someone from the community did the same mistake. Someone misread and thought, although I think a little bit logically, that when the highest contributor is Pause and someone underneath him gave her $9,000, that he also gave her such high amount of money. I can see the reasoning because people went into that.
Yeah.
And people started contributing into the Reddit thread that started as a constructive feedback for Anet. Hey, Anet.
Yeah.
This is not what we think helps the game. We think that you should rather present someone who plays the game. The relationship that I have described is not very typical.
But let's be fair too. The first thing that many people, and I'll be honest, including myself, after watching the video, the first thing people thought was friend zone. And you saw that all over YouTube, and you did see that all over Reddit as well.
Because he was a big guy, and he was about 20 years older, or looked like that. Well, they had a nice relationship, but it looked like that a little bit, I have to admit.
Yeah.
I thought of that also. But I didn't judge, whatever. They seem to have nice relationship. Who am I to judge, really? But seriously, that constructive post started as a criticism of Anet not using the right people to present the game, because she was a streamer that does not stream the game, that is not interested in that game. Well, at least it seemed so. Yeah. And she got a free PR. Anet even admitted that they have paid for her flight to Australia and her trip.
Yeah.
That seemed a little bit funny to me because if you remember a couple of years ago, so many people in the community complained how Anet invested in PvP tournaments. Mm-hmm. And now we see what they invest in, and it's a little bit hard to swallow that they rather invest in someone that's not even a part of the community. And there were in the thread some bad apples, people that used harsh words, that called her
sugar baby.
It's no need to even mention it, but there was some harsh language. And people also were focused on that one mistake of someone that claimed that the boss gave her a lot of money. And so Anet marketing team came to the rescue. And what did they do? They were fully professional and explained what happened. No, they decided to focus on those couple of bad apples and blame the whole community for just being toxic, attacking people, and they completely dismissed any feedback. They try to turn it in that feedback thread into, oh, our community is attacking us and attacking that two people. You are better than that. It was condescending as hell, and people responded accordingly. Only, I think, day or two ago, another person that I don't know from marketing team has responded while giving a normal, reasonable, professional response.
Yeah, that was Zayn.
And it was okay. However, one of the big arguments they gave us why they chose these people, to the question, well, Pos is still playing Guild Wars. She isn't, but it was mostly focused on her. At least I feel like that. And they said, well, but we wanted to show you that they are still friends and that the friendship that started in Guild Wars is still going on. Well, I would like to ask whether BMW, for example, would put someone into their commercial that used to drive BMW couple of years ago, but now drives an Audi. Yeah, no problem. Who would do that?
Oh
For
my
God's
goodness.
sake. Really. They have a lot of people that are part of the community. People that represent Guild Wars. People that try to sell Guild Wars to the outsiders. But they chose these people. I don't see any reasonable reasoning for why they were a better choice. Really. And again, ANET, I won't say ANET marketing team, because I value many people in ANET, especially developers. But those couple of people that decided to respond in that thread that were from ANET marketing team decided to turn it as attack on the company, on the video, on the whole idea of friendship. And it reminded me of when Brazil decided to point out that they made a mistake. And the only thing that he said, because he didn't say that they are lying, he just asked, I don't know whether they made a mistake or they are lying, I don't know. But this is wrong, what they are claiming. And they went ahead and said, well, that's a personal attack. And now they do the same thing. The same people.
It's
while dismissing the feedback.
Yeah. It's a shame. Here's my thought on it. And without judging anybody, without judging Paz or Bria, I don't know them. I really don't know them. I've never heard of them before.
People.
But it was a nice story. But there is something that raises a flag in me when a man who is in what I would believe to be in his mid to late 40s is, hanging around with and spending a lot of money on a girl half his age. That makes me very uncomfortable. And
correction, he didn't spend money on
or
her.
whatever he did.
At least he claimed so.
That's fine. Whatever he did, but it
whatever.
It had that he spent money to fly out to meet her. I mean, whatever. I'm not judging that. Like I said, I thought it was a cute story. And me personally, I did make those comments. I did make comments of it's a weird relationship or whatever. Maybe I did definitely threw around friend zone a lot, but I did that in a private room with a couple of my friends. I would never do that in public. And I'm a little bit embarrassed for the community of how fiercely they attacked this angle of the marketing. And what the lesson to be learned here is that inherently, if you have a marketing or advertising or any kind of campaign that celebrates your fans, that angers your fans to the point where your fans and your content marketing team are fighting on a public forum, there's something inherently wrong with that. And I think after a month of failed quotes and now a month of misunderstood videos, I'm not going to say that the videos were bad, but I'm not going to say that the videos work for marketing either. After 2 months of this, please God, somebody learn their lesson. This was an ugly, ugly situation. I'm uncomfortable with this. And as a podcast host, you know, and the people that work behind the scenes with me will understand me when I say this, but as a podcast host, my choice is to do the wrong thing and clam up about it and not talk about it because it's such an uncomfortable subject, or to do the right thing and talk about it because it needs to be talked about. The post that came out on Reddit proved to me, and I don't mean this to be mean, but it's going to sound mean, but sometimes you got to be mean to make progress. The post that came out from the content marketing team on Reddit proves to me in my head that they live in a vacuum, and they have always stayed in this bubble where the negativity, and there is negativity in the community, but there's also constructive criticism in the community. They don't want to hear it, and they gravitate to this positivity. And this campaign has gone from a campaign to celebrate your community and the people in your community to something that you want to do so badly that you will argue with your community that you're celebrating over how they're wrong for taking the wrong interpretation from an uncomfortable subject is as best as I can say it.
If too many people saw it differently than it was, then it wasn't successful. I mean, that's just like any advertising commercial, anything like that. If you take it any way other than the way they meant it to be, like, I'm going to say one that's really stupid and I still haven't figured out yet, but baby puppy monkey.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean,
puppy monkey baby?
Yeah.
Puppet monkey baby.
Oh my God.
No way, dude. That thing turns my stomach.
Is it?
It's an abomination.
I mean, is that a good correlation? Is that a good correlation?
Absolutely.
Because I don't understand what the commercial is about other than being silly. So, like, you know, if an advertising gimmick or an advertising or marketing scheme causes too many people to think the wrong thing about it, then it wasn't successful. No matter, you can't talk it into, you can't explain. You shouldn't have to explain it. It should just automatically trigger.
Exactly. God, they could have done. Somebody put on Reddit today. They could have highlighted Wooden Potatoes. They didn't even have to show his face.
Yes.
That man has been promoting Guild Wars and ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2 since Guild Wars 1. He's done it for over 10 years. Who better to carry the torch of the freaking community? And I understand that because the other thing that came out that didn't fly very well, and I completely understand this, they picked these people in January to highlight, and they had to give themselves lead time to make the video for what they could do in February. And I understand that completely. That's a realistic marketing plan. But they picked who they liked, and it may not have been the best choice. The first two videos, who would have had a problem with that? I was like, if you're doing an alternative advertising scheme, you're advertising your game through your community. That is not typical advertising. A typical advertising campaign would be, this is our game, this is the features of our game, here it is. You want to do something different, I can support that. I can get behind that. I'll retweet those videos. But no matter who you are or how good of a person you are, everybody has a little bit of bias in them. And everybody has an initial reaction to something. And I just think that as great of a story as it was, it might not have been the best choice. And ultimately, that falls on ArenaNet. It's their campaign, it's their marketing plan, and they have to get better at that. You can't just do what you want to do and then tell somebody that they're wrong for not agreeing with you. And that's
when
what a
they
lot
get
of that
an
was.
overwhelming feedback.
Yeah. So I'm a little disappointed. I feel bad. I do feel bad for the people in the ArenaNet marketing team. I especially feel bad for Bria because I mean she had to come out and make a post explaining herself. And if you're going to accept and God, I hope this doesn't sound mean, but if you are going to accept to be a spokesperson and you are going to accept an all expense paid trip to Australia, you have to expect that part of that is people are going to look into you. They're going to want to know who you are. They're going to want to know things about you and everything else. And that's part of it. It happens if you run for office. If I ran for town supervisor, people are going to look. They're going to pull up half of these podcasts that I have on YouTube and be like, this is the guy you want to run the town? Are you kidding me? Look at this maniac, you know?
They're going to find those pictures of you in your underwear. I mean,
that's how it goes. It's
Just how it
unfortunate. I really feel that this entire incident is sad, and it shows the worst part of this community. And you know what? Maybe we should just sit back and realize that we do have great people in the community, but maybe this community is not that different
from others.
From others. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I
found it very ironic how ANET is quick to claim that they have the best community there is, and when community decides to not agree with them and not support them because they disagree, they go to shame them. And
I don't want to throw labels around, but it is a typical. God, I really hate saying this, but it's true. It's a typical social justice technique where if I don't agree with you, so now I have to make you unbelievable and a bad person so that nobody else agrees with you, rather than just having some kind of civilized conversation about it. And I hate throwing all these labels around and stuff. I really do. But I mean, how else do you describe this whole situation?
Yeah. Well, we could have a whole show on it, but
I think we're about to.
Yeah, we should move on at least to cover what the intention was to cover tonight, seeing it's in our title. So
one suggestion for them how to improve, however, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
At least it feels to me that currently they rely on us and our word of mouth to present the game, and they present the community. How about we switch the roles and we present the community with our word of mouth, and they start presenting the game and its features?
Instead of focusing on the friend/ships, which was friendships, relationships, marriages, everything else, instead of focusing on that, why don't they do something like Wooden Potatoes did? Make your best content to advertise this game. You want to celebrate the community, then do it in a way where the community feels celebrated, not chastised. It's at this point, the choice is they have to put this whole concept of friendships and relationships and love and peace and quaggin to rest and do something to start showing off the gameplay a little bit better, because it seems to me that that's what a lot of people don't understand. I don't know. They're trying an alternative marketing style, and that's great. I wish them luck, but you have to know when to cut the cord. You have to know, when to leave the building. It's on fire. I mean, how else can you say it? I don't know. But I agree, we should be moving on.
Sure, they should continue with this, but not only with this. That's the gist. Guild Wars has tons of great features that are ways ahead of other games. Why not present them? Why not make a week focused on jumping puzzles? Why not make a week about fractals? Why not make a week about world versus world? and make it special and present it a lot. Why not present the patches much more? Because I haven't seen much about episode 2 outside of the trailer.
Yeah. To their defense, they have been doing a weekly Let's Play WW on the Arena channel. So I'm sorry. I will not run away from an issue. I will not speak about an issue because that's just not right. So it's out there. I am not going to include a post or a link in show notes to this one, though. You're going to have to find it on your own because
we're not going to put out fires for weeks.
I'm just done with it. I am so embarrassed right now. I really am, to be a content creator in Guild Wars 2 and to see something like this entire meltdown that started on Reddit and spill over into Twitter and all this other, and who knows, I don't really do much Facebook, but who knows what went on there. But I'm embarrassed by it, and I feel like everybody should be. I think we should be embarrassed for the judgments that we made about Paz and Bria, and we should be embarrassed at the stance that the content marketing people took. And just, you know what, there's a point where you just have to drop it. There's a point where you're right, but there's a point where you have to drop it. And come on, who's going to be the bigger person is how I feel. And I'm just beating the dead horse again. It's just upsetting. All right. We lost Gallios.
Yeah. I just hope that they will finally learn and won't really take this as again an attack on them. Because there was a lot of constructive feedback.
There was.
As I told you before the pre-show even, I now am in the marketing team. I previously worked in the QA, so I know how testing of software works. I worked in software development, so I know that stuff that people claim that is easy to implement is not as easy.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
no one in the right mind would just focus on one thing in marketing, especially not thing like this. I hope they learn because this game deserves to be successful.
It does. All right, with that, we're going to take a break. And we're going to come back. This is it. If you didn't leave after that, you're stuck because we're doing nothing but spoilers next. So let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Woo!
It was fast.
Quick, 5 seconds.
Yeah, you just think we have long breaks whenever we do this, don't you?
That's JB's rule.
We used to have 10 and 15 minutes.
I did, and then I saw the stream.
Yeah. Well, see, we used to do that, but then it would be like, 15, 20, 30 minutes of it would be like 10 minutes of doing the break and then 30 minutes of getting these guys, Kora and Gallios, dialed back into the show. And I have to edit that crap out of the audio. So while they're all playing WW and reading books or playing on whatever she plays on her smartphone, Gord's stuck here editing. Mm-hmm. Cry for me, chat. All right, so if you might have missed it, but a new living story, a new living story chapter did come. And this one is very interesting to me. I am going to reserve. We're going to talk about everything. Let me put it out there. We're going to talk about everything. Everything's on the table. The story, the map, everything. I'm reserving my thoughts on the map until everybody else gets their stuff out because this is very interesting to me, and I have a theory.
Oh, by the way, I have to leave in like an hour.
Oh, well, good, because we're halfway through the show.
Awesome.
So the map. Let's start with the map. What was it, Sandswept Isles?
Yes.
What do you guys think about it?
It's well designed, but I'm missing something that would make it. God, what a great map! What an original map! Because sure, I love the Char village and the entire culture there. That's awesome. I love the events around, and that hearts are different than the classic hearts. Most of the hearts are just kill this stuff, bring this stuff, and that's it. But these hearts are actually quite original. One is near the Asuran structure where you fly around in the air and collect energy, and it's a lot of fun. I would love it as a mini game.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Or there is another that's more of a on the classical side, where there are hunting grounds, and
Yep.
you need to hunt animals, but you can't hunt just any animal. And you get there special elites that have their special name and special model even. Which I find very interesting, that they decided to make 5 different models for 5 elites.
Yeah.
You get achievement for killing all of them, but that's very interesting. And also there are some critters that you need to somehow get, but they hide when you get close. So again, a little bit of mini game, a little bit of different approach, and all of 4 hearts are like that, which I love. Different approach, not more of the same. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
I
with
haven't
the-
gotten to play any of them yet.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I wanted
The
to get
hearts,
through the
yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I haven't finished them all either, buddy.
Yeah. The rest events are also very interesting. As we already mentioned, the fishing event, for example. There is, of course, a bounty board that seems to be a trend now on each new map. But those bounties don't seem to be anything special. Just
Well-
regular bounties.
They're tagged along with the new ambush system as well.
Yeah.
And that
That's
is
one
broken.
problem.
It's broken right now. They're fixing it. They're working on it. Great. But I mean, I think that's an interesting concept for them to pull off with the bounties. I thought. I haven't played it yet. Apparently, some people are bashing their face into their keyboard because of it. But
it's not good. It's not good. Basically, you pick a bounty and you go to the mark on the map where it should be, and suddenly it's not there. But instead of it, there are 4 Joko's minions, for example, or some champion from Joko's army.
yeah,
And you get, of course, no credit for the bounty. And people either do bounties for the achievement or for collections, and it's frustrating.
yeah,
And apparently, it's been bugged that it has been spawning quite frequently. From my experience, I ran into a couple of them and didn't even bother with them because they don't even give any interesting loot or good loot.
yeah,
But that was a problem with all bounties even before.
yeah.
So my suggestion would be, okay, keep the ambush and spawn bounty after you defeat the ambush. That's it. And people get the credit for the bounty and get additional at least 2 blues, 1 green.
Yeah.
If you want to keep it their way to bring more variety, sure, okay. Now it's annoying.
Yeah. Well, some people were posting on Reddit that out of 10 attempts, 9 attempts ended in an ambush, which I'm sure is even more infuriating. They are aware of it. They are going to fix it. It's definitely not as intended. It's overtuned. So they are going to turn it down. But I mean, to me, it's a very interesting concept because you kind of get into this. I mean, I know in Path of Fire there was a ton of bounties, and in this one there's only 5 bounties, I think it is, or 5 or 6 bounties.
No, about 8.
8 bounties. So still,
There were 5 in episode 1.
yeah. If you do 8 bounties, you could do 8 bounties in one sitting. So it's nice to have that little bit of random flair. 9 out of 10 is a little too much.
That's not random.
That's not random at all. No, but
That's not right.
but it's still good.
The random would be the bounty itself.
All right, Gallios, anything stick out to you?
We're gonna do an ambush, and we're gonna have a random bounty while you're doing it.
There you go. Anything stick out to you in the good old map?
No, I didn't really get to delve into it as much as I would like to have in the last 2 weeks because like I said, I played through it real fast.
But
just so that I could
you pretty much touched the whole map.
Yeah, I tried to at least run around the whole map. I did like the scale of it. I was a little upset where I had to stop exploring. On the northwest side of the island, it cuts off too soon. To me, it just cuts off too soon. Well, come on, man, open the whole island. It ain't that goddamn big.
Well, yeah, but there's probably more.
There's probably something on the other side of that mountain. So, but I got frustrated there. But overall, I liked the map. I know you thought the Char were weird, but I actually totally dig the Char. I liked it. I really liked the I guess the druidic quality of them. In fact, they're wearing druid armor.
Yes.
So I really like that quality of them learning that. I guess maybe because they were stranded on that island. They kind of raised a society of people who lived off the land. So
my only issue with those Char what are they the Omicron Persei Omicron Persei Char. Little Futurama reference there, but anyway, from the Omicron, yeah, those guys. The only thing is, Char have always been, in the 15 years that I've played this game, Char have always been the apex predator. They have always been very predatory. And when my first time kind of going through, I felt like they were just like, oh no, we don't want to fight those little Asura. They're going to hurt us. And I was like, this is lame. But Levy was like, no, they're not like that. They're more pacifist, but they're like, they're more like, what was that guy? David Carradine in his little Kung Fu show.
Yeah, Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Kung Fu.
He just walked by and everything was cool. And then, you touch his bag and he roundhouse kicks you in the face and you're dead, type stuff. So going through again, I did get that feel. So, I mean, I do like the Char there. And the other thing was, like I said, I was like, they just plop Char in there just to plop him in there. And when I went back into Guild Wars 1, I was like, you know what? There really wasn't a lot there. And it does make sense for the Inquest to move into the area as well as the Char to settle the area before, and humans would just naturally kind of migrate away from them, and it's outside the wall. So Joko really had no beef with them either, so it did make sense. I enjoyed it. What stuck out the most to both of you guys for the map? Gallios, what stuck out to you the most?
The most? What stuck out the most?
For the map, what stuck out the most?
The village.
The village?
I mean, that's really only thing that I paid attention to because of the, because of the fight that was there. And one of the things I did notice in that deal is they almost fought like a hive. Yeah, they protected like a hive. It was pretty cool when you think about it. How the Char druids, how they were dropping bubbles and things like that. And
there was definitely a straight up militaristic,
very
regimented plan. Everybody had their job and they performed their job without thinking.
And they didn't leave their station. That was the other thing that I noticed too. It is like, we'll keep protecting you, but we've got to protect this spot most of all. So here's a little help, but keep moving down the beach. You know, I just thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was very cool.
So the village stood out to me the most because it's what I remember. Apparently that's why it's good for me.
Levy?
Well, for me, probably that fishing event. But speaking of NPCs, this was probably the first time I saw an NPC actively heal me. And I don't mean my people from my group. No,
Right.
in that fight with the golem, those elders, some of them were using druid powers as, for example, first staff druid skill.
Yep.
That's normally it's an attack skill, and who's in the way is either healed or damaged. However, they used it as they targeted me, and they used it on me directly to heal me. That really surprised me. They seem to be much smarter as NPCs. Also, I love their effigies. That was a nice callback, in my opinion, to the Flame Legion that they went from, that had flame effigies, and they made sand effigies. Those little guys.
That was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
They had actually new models also. Those little char cups.
That's how the new horns ended up in the kit.
Not the char cups. Actually,
the char cups.
They had new models.
Yep.
At least one of them for sure.
They do seem to be working on new models here and there, as it comes into the game, which is good.
Yeah. That's great.
Time out. It's my wife. She wants to ask if there's bears near you. No, I'm teasing.
They got lots of bears near me, Lydia. Lots of bears.
Hey, my wife says hi. Come around.
Hello.
Well, come say hi. The camera's right here. You're interrupting the show. You might as well come say hi.
Hi, everybody.
No, come around. They can't hear you. Come on. You came in.
No, they can
You just want to say hi to me?
Well, I can say hi.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Love you. Bye. Okay. It's Friday night. There's our blooper. All right, so that's interesting. The interesting thing to me, I was very interested to see the reaction to this map, because if you remember right, the first map, we were all like, ooh, and oh, there was this, and oh, there was that. This is the first map since Path of Fire where we did not have a lot of callbacks to Go Wars 1. Landmark callbacks. And as a matter of fact, there was really nothing that I saw so far in this map that could be tied back to Go Wars 1. And I was
How about final boss?
Who's the final boss?
Well, that woman that I can't remember the name.
Oh, Lonai. That was it.
Yeah,
But
Lonai. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed with that, I'll be honest, because it only took somebody 2 hours on Reddit, 2 hours after episode 1 when it first came out, to kind of figure that out, that it was Lanai. And it made sense. So it wasn't really like, oh, wow, it's Lanai, because, as soon as somebody said 3 months ago that, hey, that's probably Lanai, I was like, oh, yeah, they're probably right. It was nice seeing Joko finally to have that affirmation that this isn't an imposter. This is Joko. Hey, Kyrath! Kyrath Hawkeye's here. Woo!
Hello. I still can't understand.
He decided to stay
where
up.
did it come from?
What's that, Levy?
I still can't understand where did that imposter theory come from.
I think it just got thrown out.
It was because they did an imposter theory thing already. That's why.
I think to be honest, I think a lot of people were pretty hyped to see if that was really going to be Lissa, because that was another theory out there. I would have hated it, but one theory was that Ilya and Liss separated as a god, and Liss stayed on Tyria, and Ilya went off to the mist, which I don't see how that would happen. I mean, it would have been lame because it would have been back to back, but I could see people getting excited for that. But it just didn't have the stab. Lanai wasn't as big. She wasn't a hero in Guild Wars 1. She was, I believe she was only involved in the Sunspear quest. I think that's who you turned your quest in at Sunspear Great Hall. So it was kind of nice seeing her, but I mean, I don't think anybody was really ever really attached to her. The fight was good though. All right, well, we're all done with the map.
The fight was good.
We're all done with the map. I mean, the map was okay.
It was awesome.
It was
I
interesting.
like the I also like the Azura building and
I didn't.
Primus. You didn't like Primus? I thought it was pretty cool actually.
It was bigger, but
the island was my favorite. But
once you're
cool.
inside Rata Primus, you could be inside the Inquest lab at in Mount Maelstrom. You could be at any of the Inquest labs that are in Brisbane Wildlands. It covered a lot of area, and you know, well, I'll touch on it again in the story. But there was a little bit that was a little annoying about it as well. So, I mean, that's fine.
I like that it was under construction. I like that fact, actually, that the Inquest was still working on it.
I can see it. I mean,
a lot of scaffolding and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that it was a forgotten area. It was truly a forgotten area, secluded. Joko had no interest in it. It's well beyond the wall of that he put up, so he's not laying claim to it, you know. And then you just have the Char there, who are not pacifists. They're more of a peaceful, but don't f with us type situation, because we're gonna put a hurting on you if you do. Which is really kind of badass in itself, you know. So they were allowed to flourish, and they just kept going. There was a couple other.
Yeah, the opening fight was, to me, the introduction. I really liked how it started. You know, the opening fight of the ship. Am I too soon? I'm too soon,
No,
aren't I?
I mean, well, what started off, I'm going to dip back to the trailer too as we go. They did a really good job with the trailer, again, in protecting the new map. They didn't show us anything in the new map. That was actually in the top northeast corner of Desert Highlands, where they had a hidden base there for the Inquest, where you ended up porting over to Sandswept Isles, which I don't even think there's a map entrance there now. Is there?
No.
Yeah, you have to port to it, so which is cool.
People actually had problems when they crashed in the first mission and they couldn't get back into the map.
Oh yeah, I read that
because they didn't have the waypoint unlocked yet.
Yep, I read that. That's true. So I mean, it was interesting like that. But just calling back to the trailer, that they didn't show anything of the new map in that trailer, which was freaking awesome. That was really good.
Well. They have shown one of the Asura labs on the map, but really that's just Asuran architecture. It doesn't say anything.
Exactly. Yeah. I think they did going back to the trailer, I think they did a great job with that. But that's where we start, was pretty much in the trailer. We meet up with what's his name, Keto.
Yeah.
We meet up with Keto, and he brings us right in. So pretty much most of the dialogue that we got in the trailer was in the first 30 seconds of the episode, which I thought was cool, of how great of a reaction that we all had to that trailer. And then just to find out that they barely touched the content was really cool for me. But I mean, the fights in the first part were a little, straightforward. And we end up freeing, I forgot her name, but one of the Omicron...
Botita or something.
Yeah, it was Botita or something like that. But we free her, and that's what brings us into the map. This story's tough for me because, honestly, in my opinion, not much happened, but a lot happened. It's strange. I mean, we usually go through the story step by step, but I feel like there was just, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like that there was a lot of busy work in the story this time.
I was going to say, it actually felt like a big meta event to me. Like a continuous meta event, a long meta event is what it felt like, because there were points in there where I was actually doing, I guess, part of a meta. and thought I was in story, and I wasn't. So I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? So I had to start all
Yeah.
over again. I was like, but it felt
It's
like it felt like a great big meta, which I guess could be good.
yeah.
I felt distracted enough that I didn't even notice until you get your prizes at the end of each section. I didn't even notice it. It's like because
it was
I
just
was
like
busy.
very standard to me. Here's your fight. You meet a new race of Char or a new tribe of Char. You have to go and befriend the Char. And then now that you befriended the Char, now you can get Timey to call in a favor to Saida, who I don't even know how the hell that works. Like, Saida bought an airship with the ransom that she got with us, but somehow that made us all best friends. That was a little lame to me.
I didn't even notice that part.
She gave a reason that, well,
There was a reason at the end end of it.
Oh, was there?
She tells him, you guys make my life an adventure or something like that. She says
that
you
makes
can ride on
sense.
my airship anytime.
That makes sense.
and reputation, most of all, that her reputation, rises.
That's what it was.
Okay.
It was reputation.
So that I missed.
Yeah, so it's at the end. If you walk the ship, you can talk to everybody, and she says that, the reputation I'm getting from you guys, heck, y'all can ride on my ship anytime.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but the
it was a
speaking of the
bit too
ship,
convenient.
I mean, I guess I was spoiled by first impressions throughout this because it really didn't get good to me until the end. I was happy to see that Timey was right back out in the field, although she is notably changed.
yeah. Do you think she looked stronger, or do you thought she was timid?
I didn't.
To me, she didn't seem rattled at all.
I didn't. No, she was. It's deeper. It's definitely deeper. She's bothered because she's very bothered that the commander's like, "Are you all right? Are you all right? Are you all right?" And she's like, "Look, give it a rest." But she's different. She's definitely different. Something is different. And when we meet her friends, I think we kind of see what that difference in her is, But anyway, and I know we usually do a detailed breakdown of the story, but honestly, there was a lot of go to point A. Okay, now you're at point A. Now go to point B. Okay, now you're at point B. Go to point C. And there's little puzzles in between.
A big meta.
Yeah, you had to unlock this thing. You had to go to 4 different labs that were inside the Rada Primus and do a different thing to the security system. The cool thing that I thought though was as you were doing all these little things, you could pick up something. Like you could pick up security codes to the door, you could pick up security codes to the stealth system, pick up security codes to the golems and all this stuff. So if you took the time to look around, you actually got additional mechanics in the last stages of the fight, which I thought was a nice little feature too. Another nice little feature that I didn't know about, I didn't experience firsthand, but I read about on Reddit was that there's a group of Char, the new Char, who change their dialogue based on what race you are.
Yes.
And that's another detail that is really good that I love to see in the story. But they say something different about every single race, which I thought was cool. So
yeah.
So for the meat and potatoes, you went all over the map. I found it a little annoying to free, the first boss fight, the first golem fight, I thought was annoying.
That one was.
Well, see, you didn't have an issue with it, and Levy didn't have an issue with it. Where I
remember.
Yeah,
I had an issue. I had a crash.
Oh, you had a crash? I had an issue with the
end.
mechanics because at 25%, you grow bigger. And I knew something was different. I heard the chart saying finish him. The issue is I was on my Spellbreaker and I was using the damage and I was using the dome. I was basically using my WW build, which was working in the open world, so I figured it would be fine. But all of my utilities were rendered pretty much useless against the golem, so I was stuck with just my greatsword skill. So when I would pop my 100 blades, it would start at like 300 damage and build, and the last strike was at about 1300 damage, and I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to hit him. So I went out and I started hitting the ads again and building up the thing, and then I'm throwing the volatile magic back at him, and the core's not coming out. I'm like, what is going on here? So, and that's when I finally raged out in guild chat and was like, what the is going on here?
We
and
were
Gallios is
playing
like,
at the
just
same
DPS
time.
it down, man. And I'm like, I want to punch you in your cage of face right now, you bastard. I am DPSing it down. So
Apparently not.
well, what ended up happening was I just stuck in and I was just auto attacking and 1,000 blades and hitting my skills as I could. And when everything was on cooldown, I would switch over to my hammer real quick, and I just ignored it. And I ended up dying 3 or 4 times. And as soon as I died, the char would res me back up, and I would just go back to it. And finally, when I got it down to 5%, the core popped out again. And I was like, okay. And I just finished him off, and I was done with it. So it was a little frustrating. Because I felt like
The third core pop took a long time for me too, but I was playing on Soul Beast, so I was doing a butt ton of damage every time I would pop the core. So that's probably why I DPS'd it faster. But I mean, it took a long time for me too. I think I just had the right tune at the time.
What should have happened is at that change, at that transition you grew bigger, but the ads kept coming out. So now, the AoE coming off the golem, you have the AoE stripes that are coming off of the ads, and you're trying to dodge all that while trying to figure out the mechanic. I think it would have been a little bit clearer to me if the ads stopped popping and it was just me against the golem and I didn't have to worry about the ads or something like that, because that was my thing. I was so stuck on I have to throw this volatile magic at this thing that's when I cried out, it's bugged.
It kept you off. Yeah, it kept
I'm
you
throwing
off
the magic, because I would throw the magic at it and it would go from 4 to 3 and then back to 4. I'm like, this thing is effing bugged, man.
Yeah, well, the magic wasn't hurting it. It was allowing you to hurt it.
It was allowing the core to pop.
Yeah, you just had to get the core to pop. That's why I thought it was kind of weird that it didn't pop out on the last one.
Yeah. But I did eventually figure it out and DPS it down and moved on. But that was it. I mean, in between that, it was a lot of running back and forth on stuff. And then, during the whole time, Timey's asking us to save her friends who were Blix. Was it Blix? Blish and
Goric.
So, Timey was surprised. She went to college with these two Asura, and she was very surprised to see that they were there and was adamant that they would not work for the inquest and everything. And we finally get to the point where we fight our way to the lab that they're hiding in, and our choice is to either go and try and open the core for the Scarab Plague or go to them. We didn't know how to open the core, so we went for Goric and Blix. So when we finally find Blix, we find that Blix is a golem, which was pretty interesting.
Right.
I like this.
I liked it too. I thought it was a cool twist. It turned out to be the reason why they were working with the inquest, because we don't know. I don't think we know yet. I don't think it came out, but something happened to Blix that was catastrophic that would have killed him. I'm assuming, and he basically
his essence was, his knowledge was his
consciousness
whatever
was
it's
uploaded into
the transfer.
a golem. Yeah. So
say that 10 times.
I thought that was pretty interesting. But what was more interesting is after you clear everything. Well, I mean, you get the quick scene with Joko, and he has the Scarab Plague. And Levy and I talked about this after I finished playing. It just didn't have any punch to me, because I knew that I had thought that Joko already had the Scarab Plague. I thought he was already weaponizing it. If you remember, I had said that the Awaken that they were showing in the trailer, I felt were the Unbound Risen, and I felt that Joko had already had the Scarab Plague, and he was using the Inquest to imbibe the Scarab Plague into the Unbound Risen and use them as a dirty bomb, but we find out as we play they really were just awakened and just mulling around doing whatever. They were awakened mummies. And but anyway, Joko got his hands on the Scarab Plague and portaled out, and that's where he left us with Lonai. Yeah. And that was a pretty satisfying fight. I loved portaling around. My favorite part, and a lot of people I know hated this because this is where it tended to break, but the best part is when you're fighting Lonai and Claude Jormag is behind you, and he's just like blowing the ice at you and stuff and kind of looking at you like, hey, I'm here. Look at me. And it's like you're fighting her, and it's just kind of there in the background. But you end up portaling into Divinity's Reach, and then you portal out to Frostgorge Sound with Claude Jormag, and then you end up on an asteroid somewhere in the middle of nowhere. And I thought that was kind of cool because you see this all the time where, like, these awakened are like, I'm going to kill you, but God, I don't want to. And Joko's a bastard, but I love Joko, but he's a bastard. And, you know, so she had said, basically.
She was controlled.
Yeah. I mean, she basically said, please kill me in a place where he can't awaken me again. And that's what you end up doing by killing her on this asteroid. Blix and Gorix finds you and finally brings you back, just to learn that pretty much Joko has the Scarab Plague. And that was
one more important thing. During the whole episode, the relationship with Braham changes, and the ending of this whole drama, I'd say, of this Braham drama, is on the asteroid, where you have an awkward chat with him, and you talk. So I actually like the development of this, where he started being still condescending, and Rox feeling awkward for his behavior when he had to be chained up, to him gradually respecting us again, and probably realizing that he's being a tool. Yeah, so this was nice.
Sorry, I've been a big baby and all.
Yeah. But the only interesting thing about the only interesting thing about that is he's kind of watching the commander interact with the Cubs, and when he comes in, he's like, you have to be careful because sometimes your emotions take control of you. And as soon as he said that, I was like, no, I want to punch this dude right in his face. That's it. I will not be happy unless I get to. And but Deo even pointed out that the little scrub steals your kill on Lonai if you take too long. You know, but it was nice. It's nice to know that we're not going to have that kind of unwanted drama in the story and not having to deal with that interpersonal relationship. But I don't feel there was a good enough closure. I think it was done in a good way. There was kind of the closure there where these two, you know, strong-willed Norn are, well, at least for me, I say Norn because I am a Norn, but, you know, in game. But for me, the picture was these two just really headstrong, powerful Norn just kind of buried the hatchet without saying a word. So it was cool. It's cool to know that that's not going to be something to worry about in the future. Bram's on the team. It seems like we're all starting to kind of come together and congeal, which is a very nice thing, because for the past year, Dragon's Watch seemed more like a joke than anything else. But I mean, it was nice. That was a nice part. I'm glad it's over. I'm not glad how it ended. Like I told Levy, there wasn't enough blood for me. Mm-hmm. Not enough Bram's blood for me.
Should have been a fist fight or something. Should have been a fist fight.
But it was nicely done. Them facing dying somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and so they decided to talk.
Yeah, and that's what it was. They were gonna talk it out. There's nothing else to do. We're stuck here, and then they kind of got interrupted without saying. But I had heard something. I don't know if you want to bring that up, Levy, but something that you had told me. The original plan.
No idea.
Okay.
What
I had
do you
heard that the
mean?
original plan was a hug was involved somewhere.
Yeah. In the guild chat, they. Yeah, it was in the guild chat, the latest guild chat about the episode. One of the devs has said that they were considering our character and Braham hugging in the end, having a cinematic cutscene for that, something like. And then when they thought about it, they realized that
It's too Norn.
it's not that, but it's not everything okay
Yeah.
straight away. It's still awkward between them, although it's much better. But
They'll repair the
yeah,
relationship, and maybe someday we'll see the dialogue. Maybe someday we won't. But it's nice to know.
I just thought it was hilarious when at the very last thing he says, so what do we do now? Like hug or something?
I think that's where they planned on doing the hug. But I mean, whatever. I'm glad they didn't do
hug
that.
or something.
That would feel a little bit out of place and forced. So
Yeah.
I'm also glad that they didn't do this.
Yeah. All right, so here we are. I mean, it's almost, to me, it's almost not worth speculating because it's like to me, I was disappointed, and I shared this with Levy too. I was very disappointed because I feel like I figured everything out, and now that it's out, it's like these things. We knew that Kralkatorrik. We knew back in the beginning of season 3, towards middle of that, we knew that the dragons were absorbing the other dragon's power. But now that the Inquest have said it about Kralkatorrik, now we can believe it about that. And now we know that Joko's back because we finally saw him. And now we saw Joko take the Scarab Plague, even though I was under the impression he already had it. So it kind of took a little bit out, but for me. But speculating going forward, what do you think's going to happen next?
I have absolutely no idea. Honestly,
you don't?
Honestly,
I feel we're gonna have.
Well, Joko will want to destroy Tyria, but that's, I'd say, a far goal. Not anything that will happen in episode 3. Maybe some attacks will happen, but
Yeah.
we need some development with Kralkatorrik, I feel. Although we got two Asura that were working on Scarab Plague and Kralkatorrik, which is very convenient, but still better than some Deus Ex Machina. So sure, but really, well, probably we will go to the south because Kralkatorrik went there.
There's really nothing down there, though. There's just a mountain range.
Well, yeah, but more to the south, there's Kanta.
To the southwest, yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's a Kanta, geographically, I believe, is on the western shore. It's off of the western shore of Or.
If I remember correctly, it actually is connected with some land with domain of Istan, actually.
No. Kanta's an island on its own. Or is, I mean, if I remember right, I might not, but I'm pretty sure that the way it sits geographically, Or is the closest island to Alona. Alona kind of goes down, continues down to the southeast, and Kanta is on the other side. Kanta is definitely an island.
Kanta is a large island southwest of Ilona.
Yes.
Just southwest. So the Isle of Istan, which is where we were.
Yeah.
Directly south is Kanta.
Yeah.
Like
it is
directly south.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. It's on the other side of Or.
It's showing directly south.
no,
I'm looking at
no.
a map.
Which map are you looking at?
Tyria World fan map. It's Guild Wars official wiki.
No, that's not
Yeah,
Kanta. Kanta's
actually,
not on that map.
I got a picture of Tyria. Now it's a flat map.
Oh, let me see. Okay. So it's on the wiki. Tyria, what's it called? Tyria.
I just looked up
Tyria World.
Tyria World Map. Yeah, that's exactly what I looked up. Tyria World Map.
Yeah, there is world
And it's the
enhanced
very first
map,
one
for
that pops up.
example, and there Kantha is an island, but if I remember correctly, Tyria is a continent, and
Here it
and
is. No, you-
having a map from Guild Wars 1,
Kantha
Kantha
is
is
yeah.
right underneath.
Yeah, it's right
Kantha-
underneath Isten.
Yeah, Kantha is south of Isten, but it is closer to the west shore of Or. I think it is more east in this map than it was in Guild Wars 1's map. But it's hard to tell because Kantha wasn't really on the same map as Alona and Tyria, so it might just be how I positioned it in my head. But I mean, that's right. It's still quite a distance away.
Now that I look at Shaman's map, that he makes a historical guide to Tyria, we are actually now quite close to Kralkatorik, because judging by the purple scar, he's to the east of us, just behind the sea. So he's not that far from us. But maybe Ainet will again move him more.
Yeah.
Because that scar has moved also, if I remember correctly, during episode 1.
It did, yeah.
So maybe there will be some development. Of course, there were some leaks, but I'm not sure if you want to discuss them. What will be in episode 3? But still, I'm not sure what will happen. Really, I have no idea. Although I have to praise Ainet for one thing. This Living Story is so far much more consistent than Living Story 3. Much more consistent. It's one story. We progress one story that started in episode 1, and we are not jumping around the map that much between the groups, which is certainly appreciated, and I'm glad that they took this feedback into consideration.
I can see that. I can agree with that too. But I was not opposed to the way they told the story in season 3. I kind of like jumping between two different stories till the end when it started getting a little weird.
Well,
that's
but
where
then
they started losing people.
Nothing was properly closed off. And
No,
the final
and that's
episode
true.
was.
Yep.
I rather have one consistent story in one part of the map that will be gradually unveiled than around the world. Although, as I said to you, I think some days ago, thanks to this, we're losing the possibility of Ainet coming back to the unexplained stuff.
Like Malik.
The bridge in Brisbane Wildlands, the ghosts in Ascalon, the Wizard Tower.
Yep.
If it won't become raid, this won't be explained because we're moving to another direction on the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It kills a lot of speculation for me, and I think Deo would agree with me on that. Where in season 2 and season 3, there was so many different things going on that you just had so much to speculate about, and so many good theories came out. And now it's just like, okay, there's no sense in looking ahead. You kind of know where you're going next. I mean, we don't know exactly where we're going next, but it's just
we
like...
know.
We do know. We do. Gallios, anything you gleaned from this? You think you want to take a stab at where we're going next? What do you think we're going to see in the next chapter of Living Story?
No, I'm not that good.
You are. Buddy.
I always wondered, though. I shouldn't say I always wondered. I wondered why nobody jumped through the portals that the
I tried.
the Risen went through. Well, that's what I mean. Like, why wasn't it available? Because I would have thought that would have told us a whole lot about Joko's plans.
You know what? Because we would have ended up in Corteria and been really pissed off. because you're in the middle of a fight, you know, 3/4 of the way through the final fight of the instance, and you accidentally click on that portal and end up in, you know.
Yeah, and then you can't go
Reach?
to him now because Primus has been destroyed. So
Yeah, for the most part.
you know, unless the Azura gates somehow survive, it would allow us to go in and see where they lead. You know, like where was he sending him? Is he going back into Corteria and trying to take it
Everything, yeah.
over, or you know, is he spreading it all over
I think
the
it's
world itself?
The system was calling which Asura Gate was going where while we were while we were even talking with Joko in the behind us where there were all those Asura Gates and where the awakened were coming through.
Yeah, you could see him going in and out.
There was a voice, Asuran voice that called Asura Gate to Diasa Plateau opened, Asura Gate to Wayfarer Foothills opened, Asura Gate to Snowden Drifts opened. So yeah, it was into the Corteria, to those maps where those invasions were happening in the current events.
Glad you heard that, because I didn't even hear it.
I heard that as well. Dale has some pretty good things he's throwing around in chat. I'm reading. Sorry, I'm getting tired now. So he's saying he took a second look at the trailers and it reminded him of Star Wars Episode 1. We knew we were going in the OMG moment, the Scarab Plague, and compare that to Darth Maul's big shock of a double lightsaber. And I do remember the power of that. That was the first double lightsaber that appeared in canon Star Wars. And then he wrote, what if while we are close, we focus on Krauk, they see Joko as the primary threat. They may only be helping us because we are doing their mission for them. And that I'm assuming is for the Inquest. I can agree with that. I mean, I don't think Joko. I think no matter what Krakatork does, Joko will remain the most immediate threat. So I do think the one thing, and I've seen this. This isn't just mine. I've seen this on Reddit. I think it was very interesting how Timey reacted to Blix, and I think that we're going to see Timey try to upload herself into Scruffy 3.0.
I hope that this is not the case and she'll rather upload Zoja. Because Zoja now is only drooling and basically a dead character lore-wise.
But why would they do that? That's a little messed up
because people want
well,
more
but
of her, and
Felicia Day
they like to do fan service.
I know, but Felicia Day said on Twitter just last year that she would love to come back and voice Zoja. So why would they eliminate her as the voice actress for Zoja?
Well, for example, they would save money. And they are poor devs. We need to buy mount skins, you know, so that they.
You're not poor making $80 million, $82 million a year.
Yeah,
That's
they are poor indie dev.
All right, so that's our thoughts. I thought this was a pretty solid Living World chapter. It's kind of the same as Living World 1 or episode 1 of season 4. It's the same for me where, you know, I feel the story is progressing, but I don't feel it progressed as much, and I don't really have that hook where, oh my God, I can't wait for the next episode. And I'm sure it's coming. You have to give them time to build up for it. But this is, like I've said, this is kind of the double-edged sword part of the start-stop. You know, it's like commercials you're watching, like I watch Walking Dead, and it's like they put so much atmosphere and dread sometimes into the show, and you're feeling that, and then all of a sudden it cuts to commercial, and it's just like, ugh. And you have to wait 2.5 minutes for it to come back and remember where you were and start feeling it again, and then it cuts to commercial, and it's just like, ugh. You know. So that's kind of it for me. I don't know. I don't know where we're going next, but I can't wait for the hook. I mean, they only have two chapters left before the expansion, in my opinion.
Sure.
All right.
We'll see on E3.
Oh, E3, we didn't talk about that. Levy and I figured out what's going on with E3, and MMO Inks is a little slicky guy out there. I'm going to call him out, Inks. So back when we were talking Mountgate, it came out that the devs received Xbox One X's. And I said, what did I say, Gallios? You're muted.
You're doing it again. You're telling me to remember something that we talked about
I
months
said
ago.
I put the tin hat on, and I said that I felt everybody got the Xbox One X because they were going to port
It's
it
going to port it
to Xbox One. Me and Levy got in a conversation with Romo in our little private chat thing area, and we figured it all out that they are, and that's the most likely E3 announcement is going to be a Guild Wars 2 port to Xbox One.
It actually makes sense
It
because
does.
Microsoft have said recently that they want more exclusives for Xbox, for their console, because obviously when they wanted to sell more, because when everything is ported also to PC, it's less sales for them. Who makes one of the biggest presentations on E3? Microsoft.
Yeah.
Who is on E3? Ain't it?
Yeah, so they can still go and do the friendship booth, and then they're just going to kind of stroll out on stage with whoever's leading up the Microsoft thing and do it. Dayo's asking if they do you think they will do crossplay? Because Microsoft is really trying to do more of that. I think they would. I think Microsoft is very open for crossplay, especially from a Windows to Xbox.
Crossplay?
Oh, you mean
Crossplay.
like PC and Xbox?
Yeah, so
Xbox
PC can play
at the
with
same time.
Xbox One, and especially when you're going from Windows to Xbox One, I don't think they would have a problem with it.
In my
And it's
opinion, it
exclusive
doesn't
title.
matter. It's not the thing whether Microsoft will be okay with it, but whether the spaghetti code will allow it.
But, with new models coming in and updates, wouldn't it be awesome? And you have to admit, wouldn't it be awesome if Microsoft developed a new engine for Guild Wars 2 and they were able to implement that to the PC game?
Won't happen, but sure, it would be awesome. But Microsoft is not a company that develops such things
Well,
as
they
engines.
do. They have 343 under them, which develops a 3D action-based. I mean, they have game studios under them that do.
Game studios is one thing, but the engine is a bit different. And the Guild Wars 2 would require a complete overhaul of not only engine, but the coding.
But that's what I'm saying. What if Microsoft, as part of
Guild
the
Wars 3,
deal,
okay.
as part of the deal, listen to my. Hold on. We missed
No,
this for a while. Hold on.
That would not be.
So what about, hear me out, let me finish. Microsoft does all the work and lends people from 343 and their other game studios to go work at ArenaNet and kind of give them like interns for free to help them do all this, or could even be a Guild Wars 3 exclusive. It could happen. It could be a thing. I like it. Give me more of that. There it goes. Hype, man, hype.
It would not be worth it for them then.
But if there's a mobile component that's going on, an exclusivity with Microsoft for Guild Wars 3, it keeps going back to me. There's two things. Mo said when he handed the reins over to Mike Z, and I know we're way off, but Mo said when he was handing the stuff off, he wasn't just going to focus on Guild Wars 2. Then I read the narrative team position and the requirements for that job, and in the heading it said ArenaNet is a game studio that develops innovation and iteration, and we're a cool place to work on Guild Wars 2 and beyond. I forgot the exact wording, but that was in the thing. They are working on something else. They are?
Hopefully.
All right, well, we're going to end that there because Gallios has to go soon. So we're going to close out the show. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Boom! All right, we're back. We started something here. Deo is going off in chat, man. Continue this on tomorrow on Talking Script. Let's get some theories out there.
Let's keep
What's
it rolling.
going?
Keep it rolling.
What's
From
coming?
podcast to
What's coming to
podcast.
E3, man? Guild Wars 3, Guild Wars Mobile, Guild Wars Suites, Fashion Wars 6. All of it's coming. All right. So that's gonna do it for that. So before we end out the show, I just want to say, guys, let's all take a step back, breathe, reset, and let's kind of learn from this experience that we had with this marketing campaign shenanigans on Reddit, please, because it's just something that we shouldn't have done. It's went to a place that it shouldn't went to on both sides, and it saddens me. It really does. And that's the last time I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah. Agreed.
Perfect. All right. So, Levy, you have any shout-outs?
Shout out to Romo, who did not come to the stream because he's working. He's busy. He went to Texas for his for his niece, I believe it was. So yeah. Romo. This is history. Slacker.
This is history. Levy's on the show.
Yeah.
Where are you, Romo? Anything else, buddy?
I don't think so.
Okay. Gallios, any shout-outs?
I honestly have nothing. I'm usually prepared for this segment, and I didn't remember to write anything down.
It's been busy.
Yeah, I didn't do as much as I normally do in game either. So like I have no experiences there, and I haven't really had anybody reach out to me on Twitter or anything like that. Nobody says hi anymore.
That's right.
And iTunes, for some reason, I can't open it. I was going to look and see if we had any more reviews, but it's been a while, so I doubt it.
That's cool. All right, my shout out is going to be to Bria and Plox or Pox, Poxy. Paz. Bria and Paz, be you. Don't worry about what anybody else says. Be you. That's it.
And stream more Guild Wars.
And stream some Guild Wars 2, damn it. All right. And also to Miko and Kora. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we are going to take the next we're going to take a break. We all have a lot going on. Miko just moved. Kora's kind of doing her thing. Gallios this is where we're moving into summer, spring, and everything else. So, I have a lot of stuff going on in the next 2 weeks. So, we're going to take a break next time. We'll be back in, that would be in April for Super Adventure Box, bitches.
Look at Levy.
Can't
You're
wait.
Like me, Levy. I could live without
Couldn't
it.
care less.
Yeah, we'll be back around the 6th or the 13th of April. We'll talk about it and figure it out and have updates on Twitter. But I think this is a good spot for everybody to kind of take a break. We got a lot going on. So that's that. And Miko and Kora. Kora, I hope you got all the books. I hope you got all the books, girly.
And the things
I
and the
missed
stuff.
you guys. And the things and the stuff. All right, so Levy, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
You can find me on Twitter. I won't promote any other link because I stopped doing stuff I used to promote.
Well, you've been drawing Tengu.
Well, yeah, but that happens on Twitter.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to, yeah, I recently started drawing Tengu because I hope that if I draw one Tengu for each day, maybe ANET will make them playable.
Yeah. Maybe
or at
Microsoft will make it happen, buddy. Maybe they will.
That's right. Make sure you hashtag Microsoft every time.
Absolutely. Let's do this, man. E3.
Xbox. So yeah, if you want to reach out to me on Twitter, you can see my handle underneath me, and yeah, I tweet a lot, and I I draw more, so I'm a little bit more active than just tweeting. So maybe you'll like what I do.
Yeah.
I still don't do much, but yeah.
That's
So
fine.
that's it. You can find me there.
His
ranting.
artwork's really good, y'all.
It is.
If for nothing else, go look at his artwork.
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
All right,
Oh,
Gallios.
Blue.
Gallios, how can people get in touch with you?
You can reach me on Twitter at Gallios_GW2. You can reach me in game at Gallios.8142. And you can reach me on what's that other thing we use? Discord. Yeah, you can reach us on our Discord server at Gallios #3334.
All right, I'm going to do the MIAs first. So if you want to get in touch with Kora, you can get her everywhere social media at Guild Lores because she's punny. You can find her in game at southofneptune.6254. And you can get her on the Discord at Kora #2568. If you want to reach out to Miko, give her some love at Inky Sticks on Twitch and on Twitter. You can find her in game at sanspen.6093, and you can find her on our Discord at Miko #3586. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can get in touch with the show at sotdpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at SOTD_podcast, and you can find everything else you need to know about the podcast at SOTDpodcast.com. And finally, if you want to get in touch with me, you can follow me at Gord the Norn. On Twitter, you can reach me in game at Gord.8654, and you can get me on Discord at Gord #4133. Because I love my girls. I miss them when they're not here.
Well, of course you do.
Gotta take care of them. That's it. Levy, thanks for coming. It's like 3 a.m. there. You're the man.
Yeah, it was fun having you here,
Yeah,
buddy.
it
Thanks for
actually
staying
is.
up late with us.
Yeah, it was great experience.
Good. Glad
Thanks
you came.
for having me.
Anytime, buddy. You're always welcome. All right, so that's it. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
Bye.